Access Fort Wayne offers reflections of our community. Production facilities provided by Access Fort Wayne are a service of the Allen County Public Library. The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting organizations. For more information about creating your own television program with Access Fort Wayne, call 421-1250. Hello, this is Patty Hunter, and this is my show, Patty's Page. John Deakin, how are you, my guest? How are you?
Very good, Patty. Thank you very much for having me on.
Guess what? You are here for a reason. Now, you are the producer of the Forest Rangers television series, the 50th year reunion. And it'll be held when? June the 15th.
It's going to be held on June 15th this year.
And where is it going to be? In Ontario?
Well, it's going to be at the former Toronto International Film Studios, now called CineSpace Film Studios in Kleinburg, Ontario.
Kleinburg. A lot of people who are in the United States, they must have seen this show many a time as they were growing up as well, eh?
I would think so, because it was shown in 40 different countries.
Oh, and the United States was one of them. That's great. Now, tell me about it. Was it the first colored TV?
It was the first children's show and the first shot in color and on film.
Oh.
And it was the most successful at that time.
What was the actual run of the show? What year to what year?
It was produced from 1963 to 1965. They shot 104 episodes over 2.5 to 3 years.
Wow. And how often did they do the episodes? Is it every once a week or?
They actually shot 2 shows at one time per week, because they primarily worked in the summertime and in nicer weather because of where it was shot. But they did do some winter shows as well.
Well, how long was each episode?
Each episode was 30 minutes.
30 minutes. And then when they do 2 episodes, that took more than a couple hours to get it all down pat, so to speak. So how long?
Well, it would take a week to actually produce it. They shot 2 at a time just to save on resources and costs.
Was it hard for the cast, especially the junior ones, to learn their lines?
Well, I think that's one of the reasons that they use children, because children learn so much quicker and retain things better than they do when they get older, than people do when we get older.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that the kids very often learn their lines and got them in one reading. And now the scripts may have been edited a couple of times, but because they were so fast at it, they actually got an awful lot of shows produced very quickly.
So did the kids, were they living where they were doing their shoot?
They lived nearby.
Oh, yeah.
Many of them lived in the Toronto area, so they probably would have been back and forth in a van and would have picked them up and taken them home. And they did have some tutoring at the studios.
I was just going to ask about the school business. You know, if most of it was during the summer months, they didn't have tutoring, or did they do have tutoring, the kids?
They did have tutoring at the studio, but as you mentioned, because some of it was during the summer months, they didn't have tutoring during that time.
Except for the winter shots during that time. Did they deal with animals at all? Did they touch animals?
They dealt with many things.
Yeah.
They were in a small town, and they had outdoor adventures.
Right.
Each show had several morals, and what they were doing was showing that the children could handle and do adventures on their own, make decisions, take leadership, and deal with conservation and things like that. And it worked out very well.
Now, this is 1963 to 65. Who was in the main cast?
There were several people.
Yeah.
One person is Gordon Pinson.
Yes.
Another, Graydon Gould, Michael Zenon.
Yeah.
Rex Hagen.
Mm-hmm.
Simon Jago.
Right.
Susan Conway.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Endersby.
Right.
Jesse Cahoon. Peter, Michael, and Simon Tully. And George Allen and Matthew Ferguson. They were the primary characters on the show. There were an awful lot of others who came in there, such as John Vernon.
Oh. I've seen him. I remember that show when he was on there. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. He was my favorite actor, too. So is Gordon Pinson. He was my favorite,
Well, Gordon is going to be at the reunion.
Oh, is he? And I'm going to miss it, darn it. Are you going to be doing photography on that? Or are you going to be doing a DVD or?
I don't know at this point.
Oh, that would be nice if you could be able to put it on YouTube, the reunion.
It would be, but we have to consider that some of these people are still active entertainers, and they do have rights to their image, etc.
Are most of the people who are on the regular cast, are they still around? Or some of them?
Most of them are. Of course, the older folks aren't.
Barbara Hamilton.
Such as Maxine Samuels, who was the executive producer. She's the one that brought this show to life. Another fellow, unfortunately, that's passed away is John Bath. He was the music director and the composer of the music on the show.
Oh, yeah.
But many of them are still alive and really looking forward to the reunion.
Barbara Hamilton, she died a long time ago.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, I liked her too. She was a very good actress. One of the best I've seen in a long time. She was a very experienced actress.
Yes.
The main theme throughout the whole episodes, these are basically the kids, like you said, having adventures. And what about the adults? What did they do while the kids were?
They gave them leadership. The kids were fortunate enough to have an old Hudson Bay fort as a headquarters where they kind of worked out of and played out of. And the adults in their lives would have been positive influence on their lives, such as the park ranger and that sort of thing.
Who played the park ranger?
His name was Graydon Gould.
Ah.
And you spoke of Gordon Pinson earlier. He played RCMP officer Brian Scott.
I just saluted. What the executive producer was? What was her name? Samuels.
Maxine Samuels.
Maxine Samuels. When did she first start to put this together, to get the whole thing?
Well, Well, I don't know when she actually put it together. I would imagine it was a year or two before this, because it was actually her and the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, that got together and produced the show.
Oh, yeah.
And she went on to be one of the most successful producers in Canada.
Yes, I have heard of her, you know. When did she pass on again? 2001?
I don't know. I believe it was in the past 10 years or so, but I don't know when she passed away.
Yeah. So when it started being filmed, the cast, they were all, you know, there, and the kids were there, or did they come in certain times of the year, like newcomers or something like that? You had newcomers.
Well, they would have. They would have had extras. They tried to shoot from the spring until the fall.
Yeah.
And anybody that sees the episode, they would see that. There were a few done in the winter, but not very much. And then, of course, extras were brought in from the Toronto area.
And you had reoccurring actors coming in.
Yes, most of them were.
And some playing different roles when they did come back?
There were character actors, and they were kind of fun, because if you watch the series on a regular basis, of course, you'd get to see the different roles that they would play.
Yeah, it was fun. I remember when I was, how old was I? 63. I was about, 11 till, 65. I was about 13 or something like that. I watched that show.
It's enough to say you were younger.
Yeah. Now they're going to calculate how old I am now. So, where was this fort supposed to be located? What town or something like that was it called?
Well, the interesting thing is that it was never ever specifically mentioned as to what province or location in Canada it was supposed to be located in.
Oh.
Even the ranger, his uniform said Department of Lands and Forests, Canada.
Oh. Yeah.
Now, they never had that particular uniform.
Oh.
So it wasn't specific to any one province, but I think the idea that it was up north in the wild somewhere near the town of Indian River, which at that time was fictitious. Now, there is a town of Indian River.
There is?
And it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours east of Toronto.
My goodness, so there is a real place.
There is. It doesn't resemble the fictitious town of Indian River at all.
So when was it aired in Canada? Was it aired in Canada before Europe and other countries? Or was it aired at the same time?
I don't know that for sure. It was aired in 1963 to 65, and it's been in syndication ever since.
Oh, yeah.
As I said, it was shown in 40 different countries, so when they started showing it there, I really don't know.
That's cool. Well, we didn't get a chance to see it in color until after it went into syndication, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, because I remember seeing it in black and white. Of course, we didn't have that.
Well, the other thing is that color TVs were only starting to come out in the mid-60s.
Yeah, I'm aging myself again. So, where are the actors who had starred, like Tully and the people who were the kids? Where are they now? Are they spread out all over the world, or in the United States, Canada? Where?
Well, a lot of them are still in the Toronto area.
Oh, yeah.
The interesting thing is that all of them have gone on to have very successful careers. Some are in the entertainment business, but other are in other industries. Some have migrated back over to the UK.
Oh, yeah.
And that was their roots, as was the case of the Tully family.
Right.
And but most of them have stayed in the Toronto area.
Who starred as Gabby?
That was Syme Jago.
Where is she?
Now, Syme went on to have a very successful career in pyrotechnics.
Oh, yeah.
Her husband is the owner and producer of a lighting company, and she is executive producer of that company as well.
So she's doing good.
What she gets involved with now are the Special Olympics and the Olympics, and some very famous news programs. They do the lighting for that. They do the lighting for the Olympics.
So, is she coming to the reunion?
She will be attending.
All right. So, how many?
Now, here's another interesting thing.
What?
Her sister, Lee Parrell,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
is coming to the reunion. And Lee, when she was a child, she was the face of Heinz baby bottle labels back in the 50s and 60s.
Oh, my stars. So, you have a whole bunch there, you know. I'm glad that you're having your 50th. You had your 40th in 2004. That was out in Kleinburg, Ontario as well, eh?
It was in that area, yes. It was at a conservation area, and that was held by somebody else.
So, this reunion, is it going to be an all-day thing? Is it going to be over the weekend, or just one day?
Well, many of the VIPs are going to come in a little bit early because they want to go through the studios and walk the area and whatnot and get back with people that they maybe haven't seen for 40 years or so.
Oh, my goodness.
And then the public is going to be there. We're going to start about 1 p.m. And we're going to go till around 4 p.m., at which time CineSpace Studios is going to give us a nice barbecued lunch or dinner, I guess.
Yeah.
And then the public are going to be able to have a meet and greet with the VIPs, get pictures taken with them, get autographs, and have a tour of the studios. Now, the interesting thing is the studios, currently there is $1 million standing sets of the White House Oval Office and the Great Hall and Halls of Justice.
Wow.
So that should be interesting for people to see.
That will be interesting. So, the people, do you know the complete number of cast who was coming, like 10, 20, 30?
I would think that there's going to be about 25.
25.
I haven't received confirmation for everybody, but former crew and cast members. And that includes people that did things like stunts and editing and directors, actors, etc.
Grippers and stuff. I was just wondering, the Forest Ranger TV show, like you said, it's been syndicated. When was that started to be syndicated?
I would think that it was probably well into the late 60s or early 70s, but I'm not certain of that information.
So it's been going around like a dog's age, you know, for several dogs' age.
Yes.
So, you're the planner, the producer. Do you have certain duties to do when this is all happening at that one day?
Well, my job was to gather a bunch of volunteers together.
Right.
Who could help out, such as assisting the VIPs, because a couple of them are handicapped now and they need a bit of help. But my idea back when I first started this was, let's get a bunch of people together and talk about the series itself, and the public can talk with the former cast and crew, and they are looking very much forward to talking with the public about it.
Yeah.
And my role really is just get everybody together and try to make everything flow as smoothly as possible. It's been very good that CineSpace Film Studios is supporting us by they're running a huge tent and providing chairs and a sound system and a barbecue and a meal and whatnot. So very, very fortunate that they've been good enough to help us out.
Who's the production crew? I mean, who's assisting you with all the mics and the cameras and that? Is there a certain group that's doing it for you? The studio?
I have one fellow that used to be with a television station in Toronto, and he was the main camera person, probably director of photography for fashion television on City Television.
Oh, yeah.
So he's going to be doing the camera work. CineSpace Studios is running an audio system for us.
Oh, yeah.
I have a fellow named Phil Dance who's going to do still photography. And what's interesting is I have a fellow coming down from the Iqaluit Nunavut, near the Arctic Circle.
Right.
And he is He's like a marine biologist up there. Robert Eno is his
Robert
name.
Eno. I've heard of him.
And somebody else that's going to come in and help me out is a fellow that actually held the previous reunion in 2004.
Right.
His name is Clayton Self, and Clayton has written out a trivia contest, and he's arranged a bunch of prizes. So that should be very interesting to do that.
Now, is it all booked up? I mean, do you have do you wish more people to come down, go up? I mean, wait a minute, where am I? I'm down here. To go up to Kleinburg, is it? Do you have to have a certain amount of people you're allowed into the area, or can?
Well, we can have any number of people we want. Currently, we have about 200 people that plan to attend.
Right.
Anybody that's interested in attending, I do need to receive an email from them, and my email address, if they were to Google the Forest Rangers television show, a fan site will come up on Brave Host, and my email address is on Brave Host, and they're certainly welcome to send me an email. I need to know the names of the people that are coming because we are going to compile a list of attendees, and only those names that are on that list will get into the reunion.
You know, this is going to go on to YouTube about several weeks from now, or whenever it gets shown. Do you want that on YouTube?
My email address?
Well, your email address, as well as this show that we're doing right now.
I don't know that I want my email address on YouTube, but they can certainly put this onto YouTube. That's fine.
I can put the site, the website, and they will
Certainly, yes.
They will go on their own to get your email address.
That's correct, yes.
That's cool. That's cool. For future plans for everyone in cast and crew, do you know what they are going to be doing for the next several years? Have you talked to any of them about what they want to do?
Well, I haven't really gone into their plans, but anybody that's in their entertainment certainly would continue. As I said earlier, many of these people have their own businesses, etc., so they'll be finishing those up in the next few years and retiring and probably looking forward to traveling.
What is her name? Simin?
I'm sorry?
Gabby. What's her name? One who started as Gabby.
Sign.
Is she? I remember trying to get in touch with her, and she wanted so much to meet me, but I like to have her come down sometime and be on my show. And like you.
Well, that would be wonderful.
And you too.
She lives in the Toronto area.
Oh.
And mind you, she's quite busy with her husband's business, the lighting business. They travel the world doing this job. So I don't know if that's a job, traveling the world. I think that sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah, I like to meet her. She was one of my favorites, and so was Gordon Pensett, but I can't get him, eh? So I'd like to thank you, John, for coming on to my show and bringing us the up-to-date on the TV show cast and crew of the Forest Rangers TV series. Will there be more reunions?
Well, I won't be producing any. I think that with the situation of health and aging that the people are going to go through, this might very well be the last one, but I guess we should never say never. Somebody else might do another one.
You mean another 10 more years? I don't know now. I think about 3/4 of the people will be gone. Maybe.
Unfortunately, that might be true.
Yeah. Boy, listen, old chap, thank you so much for your time, your valuable time. And I hope you have a great reunion with everybody. And I'm looking forward to looking at the T-shirts and the crest that Clayton Self has on the website. So what's the website again? Can you say it?
I'm not sure of the exact website, but it's under Brave Host, all one word.
Brave Host.
But if you Google the Forest Rangers television series fan site, it'll come up.
Okay. Well, listen, thank you, and I hope to see you in the future. I mean, you are a very fascinating person yourself, and I like to meet
Honey,
you.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you, audience, for coming on to my show and listening to John Deakin, who is the producer of the reunion for the Forest Rangers, the 50th reunion of that series, 50th season. Okay, well, thank you for coming, and I'll see you. Bye-bye. Have a great day, and see you next week.
Try.